Guaranteed if you come to a center football game, you can look forward to a bunch of young men playing very hard, giving great effort, and playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. We really just want to, teach the guys that it takes a team, man. Team effort for everything that we do.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Hive TV broadcast of the game between the Center Yellow Jackets and Grandview Bulldogs. I'm your play-by-play announcer, Andy Hanch. I will be joined in the booth tonight by broadcaster extraordinaire Steve Parker.
Well, I definitely wouldn't go that far, Andy. It's great to be here. Last-minute technical problems, but glad we got the broadcast out to all of our viewers. And super excited. It's a great night here at Yellow Jacket Stadium. And as we watch their players line up.
Well, it looks like the referees and the players are excited and ready to go for the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the varsity match this afternoon, visiting Bulldogs from Grandview High School and your City Yellow Jackets.
Can you get me some crowd? Can you get me some crowd noise? Get me one of the cameras with a mic on.
And youngsters in attendance. And now to introduce the starting lineup for tonight's varsity match. First for our visitors from Grandview. Number 2, junior Caleb Alonso. Junior number 3, Juan Gutierrez. Number 4, junior David Lopez. Sophomore number 5, Kevin Martinez. Number 6, junior Christian Solis. Freshman number 9, Stanley Ramirez. Number 11, junior Diego Alvarenga. Freshman and number 12, Jesus Barrios.
Is it the national anthem right now?
Senior Johan Aguilar. And sophomore number 17, Alan Gonzalez Garcia. Now the starters for your Center Yellow Jackets. Number 1, junior Tyler Hopkins.
Andy, as they introduce the starting lineup, what would you say are the keys of the game today?
Well, it's a rivalry match. These are two crosstown rivals managing emotions. Emotions usually run high between these two teams. It's kind of like an El Clasico. It has an intense history. Both teams speak a similar soccer language on the field. They have a similar style of play, possession, skill, speed, physicality if necessary. Always a close match, so the emotions will be high.
Senior number 30, Emerson Vasquez. And in goal tonight, the Yellow Jackets, number
Can the
38,
audience
senior
hear
Brandon
the
Cage.
crowd, the announcements, the introductions?
This time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please stand, move your hats, and join us as we honor our country with a playing our national
My camera's
anthem.
unmuted, so don't say anything crazy. I think it's been on for like 5 minutes. So as long as you Oh, no. And then I just remembered. Just don't say your name.
Got to stop moving the camera when it's live.
Thank you, and enjoy the match.
There's a spider web.
With the national anthem being played. Yes, Steve, back to your earlier question, it's always a close match between these two teams. Frequently goes down to the last minute or even penalty kicks to decide.
Yeah, this rivalry extends not only soccer and many sports. The Center Grandview rivalry is certainly alive and well.
Yeah, in talking with Coach Mattson earlier in the week, this is the kind of game, this is the kind of team Center needs to focus on playing well against. It's the kind of team that we might need to beat to compete in districts this year.
Is there a specific player you need?
I do know last week's game was quite exciting for the Center Yellow Jackets, a 7-1 victory over Cristo Rey, and I'm sure they have high hopes for this season.
Very correct. Center entering the game with a 1-0 record. 6-1 win last week over Cristo Rey.
Looks like we have number 9 for the Bulldogs, kicking it off. Is that what you call it, Andy? Kicking it off?
It's the kickoff.
All right, Stanley Ramirez.
Play it back to a midfielder, and we're off. And number 7 passes the ball back to the defense. Looks like they're trying to possess the ball from the back, playing it out wide. Back into the midfield. Good skill, good passing. Grandview's matriculating the ball down the field. Back into the middle. Center defense just kind of trying to cover the players. Out to the left wing, and it looks like it's a shot. Just wide. Hits the side netting.
They sure got the ball down the field pretty quickly. I noticed they were staying bunched in. Is that a normal thing?
Center?
No, for Grandview as they
Yeah.
bunched in together.
Yeah, they were definitely playing their roles down the field, sticking in their channels. Knowing where each player is,
Why would you go?
knowing where your players are, their positions are very, very important. Sometimes you make that pass without even looking.
I know.
Looks like Brandon Keynes started the play coming back the other direction in goal for Center. And center has worked the ball down the pitch. Grandview collects the ball. There's a slight scuffle here.
Hold on.
Looks like the whistle might have been blown.
I definitely don't think my mic.
So number 9 has the ball, only to be taken away by the referee. He calls the players over, and it will be a Grandview free kick. Played back to the defense.
I don't know.
Going to play it back to the center midfielder, back up to the midfield. Grandview starting this game off, starting it off strong, starting it off well. And we have our center defender, Troy Taylor, number 16, batting that back up the field for Grandview to repossess the ball. Grandview's circulating the ball well, moving it to its players. A lot different than the beginning from last week's game, where it took a few minutes for both teams to settle in.
Grandview definitely looks like they're in attack mode. They're really pushing the ball every time they possess it.
And the center throw in to number 30, Emilson Vasquez. And Grandview knocks it out for a throw in. Lasan Kamara throwing it in for center. Central defender. Big throw into Grandview territory. Kicked. An aggressive tackle by number 2 for center. And played into the middle of the box. The left forward shoots. Score! For center Yellow Jackets.
Oh, I've always loved saying that. You know that.
Is that David Argumendo, number 10. Switching over from a central position to the left forward. Taking a beautiful left-footed shot. Wow. Steve, this is an interesting concept for soccer. You can have a team that looks to possess the ball well, seems to be controlling the game, as Grandview definitely was doing well in the first minute or two. And then you have the quick counterattack by center.
We forgot to start the clock.
Grandview back to trying to play their possession game, circulating the ball, playing it upfield, out to the wing. Number 2 is going to dribble it past the center defender. Ooh, and the center back kicks the ball out of bounds. And it looks like we're going to take a corner kick. Number 7 for the Grandview Bulldogs, Arturo Ramirez. Playing the ball number 2 at the top of the box. He crosses the ball promptly to the other side of the field. And, Steve, it looks like it's going to roll out of bounds.
Those are always interesting and dangerous plays for the defense, but center manages to get out of that one. It's a pretty physical play so far.
It's a hard tackle. I think the referee has indicated that Grandview is going to take a free kick here from about 30 yards out. Steve Mattson said that one of the keys to the game this week, and he plays the ball in. Looks like it's over the bar. Might have been touched by Brandon Keynes. So one of Mr. Mattson's keys to the game is for the defense to improve on not giving up those dangerous penalties or free kicks close to the top of their box or set pieces. They work on it in practice, and last week they were stung for a goal against Cristo Rey on a set piece from pretty close in.
Is the camera on me right now?
So we have Grandview possessing the ball, playing it back to the defense, back to the midfield, up to the forward. Number 7, you can see the center, Emilson, trying to play some tough defense. We now have Mansour Balde creating havoc in the midfield, forcing a bad kick from Grandview Bulldogs. Brandon Keynes plays the ball back to his center defender, Lasan Kamara, number 23. Take it for a goal kick. See how far he boots it. Yeah, looks like about a 40-yard kick.
Main camera's got to keep that in.
Center trying to move the ball up the field, rolls out of bounds. Grandview throw in. Center regains possession. Looks like Sam Adkins in the middle, trying to dribble it forward. There's
Taken right back.
Wilson's got some skills. He's going to try to take on a couple defenders, and he almost makes it past the second Grandview defender. Number 2 takes the ball off his feet. Caleb Alonzo plays the ball back up to the midfield, where center regains position. Mansour Balde, good moves, good takeaway. Tried to take it away with the back of his heel, didn't work out so well. Reese Damiano in the mix. Number 2 playing physical. He's dribbling it down the side. Plays it off a Grandview Bulldog. Reese Damiano with the ball. He's going to throw it in. Short throw and booted out, kicked out for a Grandview throw-in. Throw-in taken by number 15, Johan Aguiar. Grandview's back to moving the ball around. So Balde interrupting the play, trying to make things tough. And it's intercepted by Lasan Kamara, who plays it out to the defender. We're moving the ball up the field. Number 30, Emilson, taking it by himself. He's got 3 defenders on him. He dribbles it past the first, dribbles it past the second. And he pushes it up line to his forward. Number 10, passing it back and forth between the 2. And it looks like Grandview's going to take over possession. Good work between David and Emilson on that play. It was 2 against 5.
Yeah, that was really impressive. He had a shot at it and just got it taken away at the very end, but covered a lot of ground on that play, that's for sure.
He sure did. Very skilled player, left-footed, takes a great left-footed shot. Coach Matson was telling me earlier in the week that if Emilson Vasquez could go back to his freshman form, he actually scored 35 goals that freshman year and was given the All-State Award for his services. And then, of course, he was injured last year. So this is kind of a return to form year, hopefully. His leadership means a lot to the team as well, not just the goals. So center is moving the ball up the field. Intercepted by number 11, Diego Alvarenga. Looks like Grandview's moving it around the top of the box. 11 takes a shot, right-footed. Goes just to the left of goal. That was Diego taking a shot. The Grandview Bulldogs. Steve, it's a nice night for soccer.
It is a beautiful night out there. Not too humid, a little bit of a breeze. The sun is out. We've got this beautiful turf.
Number 12 plays it into the top of the box, but taking care of the center defender, Lasan Kamara. Does a lot of that. We're going to play on. No foul is ruled by the referee. Number 11 is going to dribble it in, pass it out to the wing. Number 12 tries to cross it into the middle. He tries again with the outside of his right foot to no avail. He's swarmed by the center defense, who kicks the ball out. Looks like number 2 is going to take the throw in for the Bulldogs, Caleb Alonzo. This is a dangerous spot. Tosses it in. Looks like Grandview tried to work it around the horn again. Center kicked it out. Perfect temperatures. Good day for an outdoor game. Beautiful fall day. 11 dribbles it to the top of the box. He decides to give it a go. He was a little bit off balance when he took that shot. No worries for Brandon Keynes. So Brandon Keynes is this is his first year playing goal for center. He is a senior. We watched him play last week against Cristo Rey. Only gave up 1 goal. Seems to have really solid hands, a good instinct for positioning in the box.
Absolutely. Looks like Coach Madison found himself a keeper in this one. Pun intended.
The dad jokes. We can do that all day. Played into number 9. He takes it in, takes a shot. Oh, just as we were talking, he slipped it to the right of Brandon Keynes, just out of his reach. Did everything he could, but from a shot 15 yards out.
And we have a Grandview goal!
Well, remember, Steve, we were talking earlier about the rivalry between these two teams. It doesn't surprise me that we have one team score, another team respond.
Absolutely. This is kind of what you would expect in this kind of rivalry.
Looks like Sam Atkins is going to take the kickoff. He's going to play it back to his midfield. They're going to move it forward. So it's bouncing around. Not sure who it went off here. Leg of a center player. And they're going to, the ball boy's going to chase the ball down in the end zone there. Looks like it's a Grandview throw-in. Going to work it up the line. Still working it up the line. Got some tough defending here from Reese Damiano, number 2. He's joined in the defense by forward David Argumendo, the golden booted one. You know, David Argumendo scored a goal last week. Beautiful goal off a 30-yard free kick just outside the box. Maybe he can replicate that tonight. It's always good to see our forwards coming back and playing defense. And works on keeping those defenders in their positions, those 4 defenders. Look at that.
Wow.
We've got David Argumendo taking on 2 or 3 players. He's down in the corner now. I was kind of hoping he could work it into a corner kick or something else to his advantage. He didn't have a lot of help. Took Reese Damiano a minute to get down there. There's a little bit of separation between he and the other midfielders. Here comes David.
Big
That's
collision.
a tough tackle.
That's a big collision.
The referee's probably going to blow the whistle on that one. So it took 23 minutes, but I think we're starting to see the rivalry, the physicality aspect.
Yeah, it's like black.
Absolutely, and you have to be impressed once again, like last week, with the athleticism of these scholars out on the field.
I can't. Kaylee, take my spot.
David must have made a 30-yard run to catch up to that play.
Kaylee's coming over here.
Reese Damiano plays it forward. And we've got David again, dribbling with the ball, trying to take it back, but to no avail. Grandview then plays it out to the wing, number 12. Jesus Barrios.
Impressive skills by Mansour right there.
Balde. He is butter on the ball. And speak of that, got Emilson dribbling and just lost it over the end line for a Grandview goal kick.
I don't know what they are. It's like, okay, can they hear me talk?
Looks like it's going to be taken by their defender. It's like number 24. Of course, it's hard to see the numbers in the booth here. There's just this glare.
It's a sunny day, that's for
Sunny
sure.
day.
Center, number 7, Oscar Sanchez, number 8, Killian Clarkson.
Plays up to defender, out to the wing, number 2, Caleb Alonzo. Plays it back in. Grandview back to trying to possess the ball, make smart passes, but intercepted by Mansour, but looks like he got the man. Back to the Bulldogs, playing it up the left wing, number 2. And Brave defending, but managed to kick it out. Is that Tyler Hopkins, number 1? It was for center, and we cross it back up to the middle. And Steve, that's what they're hoping to do. Dribble it down that wing and then cross it up to the middle. Try to catch that goalkeeper, paying more attention to the wing than whoever they send through the middle.
Absolutely. Good eyesight on that one. Kind of seeing what, just a little bit of the strategy for the Grandview Bulldogs.
Hassan Kamara kicks it maybe 45 yards, 50 yards. Center dribbling it up. Now we've got 2 or 3 attackers. Looks like David is going to try to take some players on. And it looks like a clean tackle by the Grandview Bulldog. Kind of went to ground and took the ball off David's feet. The defender had help, 4 or 5 players to back him up. But never know. David has some real skill. Might have chipped one of those people and beat him. Okay, Grandview's bringing it back the other way. It looks like center has their defense pretty well set up. Number 13 for center, James Raper. James had a good game last week. Solid defender on center's left wing. If you'll remember last week, Steve, the other team dribbled it down that left wing frequently, and James always stood the test.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're definitely being tested tonight, but doing a really good job.
And speak of James Raper, the ball's played out to James. Dribbles it up, passes it to the midfield. To number 8, Kenan Clarkson. Clarkson had a good game last week. Number 8. Looks like Lasan Kamara going to kick the ball. So he kicked it about 40 yards last time. Yeah, a little bit further. Well, about 40 yards. Grandview Bulldogs play it back to their defender. Somewhat dangerous play. Manages to get it out to the wing, and they've kept it in. Oh, smart move. Plays it back to the midfield, who plays it back to the outside, but guess who's there? James Raper in the center defense. Oh, there's a uncharacteristic giveaway. Dangerous position. But is that number 8 from center? Nope. Number 6, Ahmad Tarja Hall. Nice, beautiful back heel, but lost to center.
It looks like Troy Taylor with the steal.
Troy Taylor. Troy's in the game. Emilson dribbles the ball, passes it up. Kenan Clarkson. And we have a cross by center. Dealt with by the Grandview defender. Kicked out. Looks like a corner kick for center. Let's see who takes this. Jogging to the corner. Can't see the number. Might be Priyash Joshi.
Yeah, a reminder that we have an all-new crew here at Hive TV, kind of putting their feet to the fire with the soccer game. Soccer is one of the more difficult sports to film and to keep the camera on the ball. The ball moves so fast, and these young athletes kick it so fast and hard. But they're doing a great job, and we can only get better.
Left-footed shot. You saw there's a big group of defenders there. It was like shooting the ball through a bunch of trees. Nielsen's not afraid. It's the right thing to do. Mr. Parker, take a shot.
You never know.
Never know. It bounces off defender's leg, bounces off a hand. You get a penalty kick. He does it again. Takes another left-footed shot. And it looks like the referee's calling a push. So it's going to come back the other way. So just want to correct myself. Earlier it looked like Emilson was taking a corner kick, but it was actually Oscar Sanchez passing to Emilson. So Oscar Sanchez, number 7 in the game for center as a forward. Got number 24 playing the ball up.
We don't have a 24, so.
No. Could be the sunlight.
It could be.
Blending all the numbers together. Kamar Lasan smartly plays it off the Grandview defender and has a throw-in. He's got a good kick and a good throw.
Yeah.
Must have been about 30 yards downfield. Although Grandview does gain possession, it looks like they're going to try to go back to passing the ball. Their channels to the players in their positions, circulating the ball. Looks like center's defense is setting itself up. And we have the cross to the middle. Number 7 plays it in, back to number 7. And he's looking for an open shot, but it may have played off a center defender. The referee didn't see that, so he deems that it went over the bar for a center free kick. Yes, Steve, I think you were alluding to this earlier. There must be something about that left wing they keep working. It looks like they're trying to play it into that forward midfielder combination so they can play the ball back and forward and get some nice straight-on shots between those two. Center midfield handles the ball. But it's back to Grandview. Reese Damiano doing a lot of running. One-man wrecking crew. Levin takes it past him. Heading towards the corner. And there's Reese Damiano with the ball. Trying to play it up just a little bit off. Grandview looking to center the ball to number 2. It's handled by number 1. It was off his head. Kamara Lasan. Lasan Kamara plays it up to center. Might have rolled out of bounds. David Argumendo could argue with that. Seems like he wanted the ball.
Speaking of dad jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach Mattson was complimenting David, saying that he was a classic number 9. And in soccer, that's a center forward who plays aggressively. It's a position that a lot of important players have had. And David certainly has that spirit. He's somebody that wants the ball frequently.
Yep.
He'll check back to get that ball, and he's aggressive with it. So it looks like we're going to have a corner kick here in the 14th minute. Maybe it's a free kick. I'd say probably it was an offsides. Oh, Lasan's kicking himself for that one.
Like that was a shank.
Went 40 yards the wrong way. So to throw in number 2, Caleb Alonzo. Throws it down the line. You know, kids at home, that's a good strategy. If you have the ball, throw it down the line to one of your players. Statistically, they did a study to find how often the ball down the line gets possessed by the team that threw it. And you'd be surprised, Steve. I think it's something like 70% of the time.
Is it just because of the angles?
The angles and the defenders tend to have the ball bounce off their feet, and then it rolls out, and then the offensive team maintains possession anyway. So
and they're just closer to the goal.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. You're just moving the ball down the field. In the meantime, Grandview does take another shot. They were probably offsides. I can't hear the referee's whistle, and it's hard to see the flag. But we have the 2 assistant referees today. His job is to watch to see if the other team's offside, and then they hold that flag up.
Ah, so that's what that flag means.
Grandview plays the ball back into the midfield. Plays it back out to the wing. Intercepted by David. That's another thing that forwards will sometimes do. If they're not getting the ball enough up top, they'll come back and get the ball for themselves.
Sometimes you just get a little lonely.
Yeah. Mansour trying to take on a Grandview defender. Loses the ball. I'm sure the midfield doesn't mind the help, especially against a team like Grandview that seems to be possessing the ball fairly well and moving it around.
The game for center number 30, Wilson Vasquez.
Well, Andy, as a former coach, how did you coach your players up to keep their heads in the game when the ball is on the other side of the field?
As far as forward, in the forward aspect of it?
Right.
Well, so in a situation like this where Grandview is maintaining a lot of possession in the center half, you always want to make sure that you have one or two forwards, here we go, that sit around up top like number 14 has done here. In soccer, this is a definite strategy. Get those defenders to push up and play it forward to a forward so we can run into that open space. It's called a counterattack, and center certainly can do that. Center could have David drop back into the midfield, and then they could play it to Emilson, who might be all by himself at forward, and then you see all the empty space beyond the last Grandview defender. And then you're in a situation where you've got a good, skilled player dribbling in on the keeper with 1v1.
So kind of like a breakaway in basketball, the fast break, where you have that one player that gets out in front of the defense.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like center defender, James Raper, playing it back into the midfield. And David is out dribbling the ball. Got a lot of skill. Plays it back to the midfield or defender. Actually, that's nice to see him circulating the ball as well. Okay, here we're going to try to play it forward.
There's what you were talking about.
Right. There's Emilson with the ball. He almost beat that last defender. Once he gets past that last defender, race is going to be on. See all the center defense is set up in their back line. Going to take a long shot. Oh, beautiful shot with power from about 30 yards out by the Grandview player.
For Grandview, go!
Can't see the number. It's just almost off screen. Maybe we can tell by the celebration. Yeah, Steve, that was...
He kicked it from the 20, and then if you count the end zone, you're right. That's right at about 30 yards with what do they call it? Spin, not spin, but force. He had some authority on that ball.
He sure did. He got his head down, his body through that ball. I think the only thing center could have done about that is their defense was set up well. Perhaps a midfielder could have put some pressure on him, not get him that space to shoot. But it looks like we're going the other way. We have Emilson setting up over the top of the ball. I guess we know why Grandview was trying to work the ball back into the middle of the field from the wing.
Exactly.
Emilson with his own. Oh, beautiful shot. And followed up. Oh, by number. Was that? Or calls for a handball. The referee's going to run over to talk to the assistant referee to see if there was a handball on that. I think that was Mansour Balde with the heads-up play, getting in there for the second shot. But you saw it ricocheted off the top post. And what do we have here? He's communicated with the AR. And it looks like it's just going to be a corner kick for center. So it looks like center has its own midfield power shot. Very close to leveling it up, evening it out.
I did see freshman Oscar Sanchez pleading for the handball right there and not getting the call.
Leading match for center number 1, Tyler Hopkins.
Shy, we're gonna tie the shoelaces here, or the boot as they call it in soccer. Oscar Sanchez throws the ball in, kick, and he takes a gander, just floats over the top of the bar. Well, Steve, that shot was probably from about 30 yards out, had power on it.
Yeah, that was a very impressive shot.
Well, it was saved by the keeper's best friend, the post. That's what it's known as sometimes. The woodwork, the pipes. Bounced down. Too bad it didn't bounce over the line. Anyway, back to the action. Number 1 kicks it out for center. Tyler Hopkins. Grandview moving the ball back up the field. It's very important that center maintains its composure. Grandview back to possessing the ball, playing it back into the middle. Mishandled by Damiano. Grandview playing with that ball at the top of the box. Oh, beautiful shot. Just over the top of the bar. So Grandview's starting to warm up to these shots from the middle of the field. Let's see if center can't respond. With about 5 minutes left in the half, Hassan Kamara plays it out to the wing. James Raper, back to James Raper. Try to possess it. He stood up and then he kicks the ball out of bounds.
What kinds of things would Coach Madsen be telling his players right about now? As far as this last 4.5 minutes left to go.
Looks like he's assessing the...
Working on his halftime speech, maybe.
Yeah. Very well could be. Grandview maintaining a lot of possession here. Going to try going down the right wing this time. Left defender, number 14 from, well, it's actually Mansour, the midfielder, has come back to play defense. So center staying fairly compact in their half of the field for now. They might be wanting to play that counterattack ball. Much different than last week's game where center maintained possession and did pretty much what Grandview is doing now. Grandview playing the ball back. See if they can't draw center out to create more space on their offense. Number 24 dribbling the ball. Plays it into the midfield. Number 11. Number 11 take a shot.
Wow.
Brandon Keeds managed to get his hand on the ball. Some tough bounces. Number 11, Diego Alvarenga. Alvarenga? Alvarenga. If not mistaken, he's probably taken a couple of the shots from the middle.
Yeah, he's got quite the leg.
A nice turn on the ball. I think one of the things that Coach Madsen is probably thinking about with his halftime speech is the midfield can't give a player like number 11 the space to take those shots. It's hard because he's been turning quickly on that ball, putting a lot of power on it. Center needs to mark up on that player. Tough defending there by James Raper. Not quite sure what's happening here.
Looks like we have an injured player on the field.
Injured player for Grandview. Well, there's about 2 minutes left in the half. The clock is still running. The referee can call to stop the clock. Of course, in professional soccer, they don't stop the clock. They just add time on.
So what is it? Is it a lice?
It's like the referee's explaining something to Brandon Keynes. You know, if I could see the full screen, it almost looks like there's a penalty kick here. And that would be my guess. Brandon's swaying both ways.
Got to get a full shot.
Brandon dancing on his line. Oh, just to his left. Grandview has just scored its third goal.
No, but the bug I squished had their
Steve,
foot.
that's tough.
No spine.
You don't like to concede a goal at any point in the game, but in the last minute or two of a half, or in the first minute or two of the second half, it's hard. And it changes the halftime speech. Changes
Right.
the whole tone.
Absolutely, because now you are down by 2 scores. And strategy definitely would probably have to change.
So we're going to play the ball back.
Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Okay.
And play it forward. Searching ball for Emilson. Emilson Vasquez, number 30. Always posted up top, looking for the counterattack. Can't be much time left on the clock.
Match for the Bulldogs, number 5, Kevin Martinez, and
Grandview throw in.
Christian Martinez.
James Raper plays it up to Mansour Balde.
When it's halftime, I'm gonna go in and grab the bug spray from her.
Score's wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Looks like Mansour Balde
3-1, Grandview.
played it back into the midfield. Collected by Grandview. Played back to the defense. He's going to play it out to the wing, number 2. Good ball movement. Plays it back in midfield. They're working that ball up the field, only to lose it to Mansour Balde. Nice, beautiful left pass with the right outside of the boot. Mansour loses it, but then recollects it. Grandview plays it back into the midfield. Looks like they're going to get it out to the wing. Center number 10 passes it up.
This is
Going to play it up the wing for center.
Where's the ball?
David chasing the ball. Keeps it in. The Grandview player takes possession. Passes it back. Center trying to put some pressure here. See if they can score one with about 30 seconds left. David chasing the player down from behind. The referee's going to blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. I'm on it.
10 seconds
Looks like it's going to be a center throw in.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Puts it down near the top of the box.
0. That's the end of the first half with the score. Grandview 3, Center
That
1.
would be the half.
This is a great time to
Last
take
minute
back
conversations
control.
between the referee and
Stand.
David.
It's located right behind the stadium. We got a lot of
And the
great
first half has come to a conclusion with Grandview at 3, Center 1.
Student athletes.
So they're not gonna kill me.
They're not gonna kill you.
Alright.
They're just annoying.
They should never hurt that much. That's why I was like, what are these? Okay. Ooh, another one's
I think I'm dreaming right now. I never knew this was gonna be my new school.
It's amazing. When we got to bring the students over and tour the building, they were so elated, so excited.
This is amazing. Look how big it is. I didn't even know what to say. The building gets so big and we have a lot of space around here. We get to have fun with our friends. Whoa, it looks like a whole museum. This is so cool. there's TVs, like there's one over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 TVs in this room. I think it's awesome and it's really big and there's so many classrooms and I just love the whole school. I think it's awesome. It has more space than the old school. If the teachers don't have something and the other classroom do, you can just open the doors and ask for it.
My heart is just full because they demonstrate such gratitude in how they were taking everything in. This is for us. Yes, this is for you. When we were going through the design process, we wanted it to be more collaborative, more open. We've outgrown, our current space. The particular setup has a purpose for instruction and the learning experience.
Why is this place so cool?
3rd and 4th and 5th are upstairs, and next year I'm going to be in 3rd. And there's lockers and an outdoor classroom.
There's a glider! When you look up top, it looks like a beehive.
The blue design is beautiful.
We are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot.
It's just exciting. Our students are going to do great work here for years to come.
Thank you, Center Community, for giving us this beautiful space. We love our new building.
We can't wait to learn here.
Indian Creek Bulldogs forever!
Thanks to the Center National Booster Club for their ongoing
This
support of
video
Center
message
athletics,
is
coaches,
for
administrators,
all of our
and
Center School
staff.
District students.
Support Center athletes
I
in
want to
variety of ways.
officially welcome you to our 2021-22 school year. For those new to our district, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Yolanda Cargile, Center School District Superintendent. I am excited to welcome you back, and I am honored to start this new school year with you. Our main goal as Center School District is to serve you, our students. I'm sure many of you thought, as I did, we would be able to start the school year without any COVID-19 restrictions. But here we are. I know it continues to be a trying time for many of us. We want you to know district leaders continue working and planning for a safe return for you. We're excited to begin the 2021 school year in person. One of our collective commitments is to know every student by name, strength, and need. We know last year may have been challenging, but we believe in you and are here to support you to ensure you are on track and on grade level. Just as we ended the year with many safety measures in place to keep everyone as safe as possible, we will continue the same this school year for as long as necessary. Please follow public guidelines and the health and safety measures we have put in place to protect you, our families, and community. We all play a part in stopping the spread of COVID-19. You have so many people cheering you on and advocating for your best interests. Don't forget, the adults in the district are here to help. Just please reach out when there is a need. In Center, we are in this together to ensure each student thrives in a future-focused learning environment as you build skills to become responsible citizens. At Center, we create champions. We know you can be a champion, Yellow Jacket style. Once a Yellow Jacket, always a Yellow Jacket. Let's have a fantastic school year. Thank you.
Hello, Center School District family. My name is Andrea Boo, and I'm the 6th District at-large City Council person for Kansas City, Missouri. I just wanted to say good luck as you start the school year and head back to school. I know we are all tired of wearing masks and washing our hands. Well, washing your hands is a very good habit. And I know that your mothers and grandmothers and teachers have been telling you to wash your hands way before this pandemic, so keep that up. But seriously, as you begin this year, know that you have champions outside of the school building cheering you on. To the teachers, you are all our heroes. Over 30 years later, I remember Mrs. Russell, Mrs. Myrick, Mrs. Cogsdell, and even Coach Powers. So today your students may forget their homework, but tomorrow they will remember your name. And especially to our seniors, I have one of my own. Don't let the weight of the last few years weigh you down. Let it be building blocks to lift you up. And I will leave you all with a phrase from President Barack Obama's farewell address, an address that actually propelled me into public service. Show up, dive in, persevere. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to share a few words, and good luck.
Welcome to each of you, the Center High School graduating class of 2021.
Yeah, this is really cool. We're right here in the backyard of our school district, and it's just really cool to see all the blue and yellow here and all the staff supporting them.
Absolutely phenomenal. We're going to make it a memorable one tonight.
This is what it's all about. It's a culmination of a career and education for many of our students. It's a proud moment for us as Yellow Jackets.
I am extremely proud of the class of 2021. The Yellow Jackets have survived a year like none other.
This whole year was it was a lot to take in, so it's really special that we're out here in Starlight and able to do this.
Our students have done a phenomenal job.
We have had kids on virtual, we've had them on hybrid, we've had them full in person, we've had to move back and forth between these two, and all along the way, the students have just been really flexible, and not only am I proud of them for graduating, but graduating under these circumstances deserves an extra round of applause for them.
To be center strong, that takes on a whole new meaning when you add the pandemic into it. This last year's probably felt like 2 years.
It was very difficult.
We all been through highs and lows, and it's been a pretty difficult year. But right now, this is our moment. And I know our parents and family members are proud.
This is a class like no other because of what we lost, but also because of what we gained. I'm super proud of us. If they can get through this, they can get through, whatever else is coming.
I don't think I met anybody who fully gave up.
Our village is strong.
Our teachers really, really care about us. That's one of the best parts about Center.
Center is just a place where we get our stuff done and we're a good family.
It's a family. It's a big, huge family. I'm gonna miss it really much. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Go Yellow Jackets!
You're unmuted.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Hive TV broadcast of tonight's Center Yellow Jacket versus Grandview Bulldogs game. When we last left at the half, it was 3-1, favoring Grandview. Center with possession, working the ball down the field. We're going to have a push. And Grandview's going to bring it back the other direction, playing it out to the right wing, or the midfield and forwards. Crossing it back up into the middle, an attempted header. Looks like center defender is going to play it out to.
Thank you.
You're going to have a long shot.
I love the smell of bug spray.
Offline. Brandon Keynes may have handled that ball before it went out. Nope, it's a goal kick for center. Goal kick taken by Lasan Kamara, number 23. Into the midfield for Grandview. Takes possession, moves the ball around, circulates it back up through the midfield. Multiple passes back to the defender. Plays it back out to the right defense. Taken by center, Emilson Vasquez. He's trying to take on a defender. Was going to play the ball past the defender, but Grandview defender was too fast. We have Reese Damiano throwing the ball in to Mansour Balde. A host of center players trying to get a hold of the ball, only to be lost to Grandview. Playing it through the midfield. Mansour Balde playing defense on number 11, Diego. And again, the Grandview defense possesses the ball. Trying to play it back up through the midfield, but it rolled out of bounds for a center throw-in. Taken quickly. Off the Grandview player. Another throw-in taken quickly. Center forward speedily runs past the defender and is tackled inside the box. Is the referee going to call it a penalty? Was it in the box? He's going to check with his assistant referee. This could be dangerous. They've conferred. The referee is going to judge. We're going to play on. It's going to be a Grandview goal kick. Played up to the midfield. Center regains possession. We're going to push it back the other direction. Emil San trying to dribble past 2 or 3 players, and it is played out by Grandview for a center throw-in. Reese Damiano to quickly take the throw-in. Nope. Can't see who's over on the edge. Was that a corner kick? Back into the middle. Center at the top of the box. Mansour Balde loses the ball, collects it again. Grandview kicks it out to the middle of the field, and we have an attack going the other direction. Number 9 in the midfield plays it out to the right forward. Dribbling down the field, crossing it back to the center. Good defense, number 16 by center to intercept the ball. Troy Taylor playing the ball up. Ball rolling around, referee indicating that it will be a center throw-in. Center free kick. They've got the right man taking it. Lasan Kamara, we know he can kick it 40 yards. This is a set piece from a dangerous spot. He plays it up in the air. Keeper jumps up, grabs it, collects it for the Bulldogs. No worries. He's going to jog it out to the front. And he's going to take a drop kick. So tonight at keeper for the Grandview Bulldogs, we have a mystery player. Not quite sure who that keeper is, but he did manage to jump up in the air and snag that ball. Okay, again, we're coming the other direction. Grandview plays it to the corner. And it looks like it may have rolled out for a center free kick. Yeah, that was a good chance for center to get back into the game. If they could have pulled one back, it would have made it 3-2. Nielsen Vasquez jogging out of bounds and throwing the ball back in. It's her Balde dribbling the ball up and giving it back to Emilson, who beats a couple defenders. Kind of hard tackle on the play. Emilson sent sprawling on the turf. Evidently it was a fair tackle. We have Grandview moving the ball back up the field, only to be taken away by the center defender. Pushes it up. Number 13 with some nice moves. Plays it out to the right wing. Number 13 was James Raper. Good job moving the ball the other direction. Looks like center's going to have the throw in. Dangerous spot. Center's hopeful. It's going to be David Argumendo throwing the ball. Assistant referee holding up his flag. The throw-in was deemed not sufficient. Could be David's foot went over the line. And it looks like in the meantime, Grandview has taken a substitution. Play is being held up as number 2. Caleb Alonso prepares to throw the ball in. He throws it up the line. Bounces off a Grandview player who promptly falls down. Center turns the ball around, moving it upfield, loses it. Played back into the midfield. Grandview plays it back behind the center line, but no worries for Brandon Keynes. 4 defenders against the 1 offensive player. Hassan Kamara gives it a big boot. You know who he's looking for. He's looking for his big forward, Emilson Vasquez. Emilson scored 3 goals last week. If we get back to our scoring ways, it's probably part of the halftime speech. Emilson scored 3 last week. Reese Damiano scored 2. Sam Atkins scored 1, and David Argumendo scored 1 last week. So there's plenty of firepower for the Center Yellow Jackets. And they do seem to be putting some pressure on the Grandview Bulldogs this second half. Reese Damiano with the throw in. Looks like he's throwing it to David. Center Bulldogs swarming around the ball. David tries to take on 2 defenders but loses it. And we're coming back the other way. David has come back from his forward position to play it out wide, the outside of his foot, to Emilson Vasquez, who wasn't able to maintain possession. Ball rolls out for Grandview throw-in. Reese Damiano intercepts the ball with his head, and Emilson Vasquez dribbles the ball into the box. Felt like he was pushed. He was a little bit off balance. The referee refused to assent to his plea for perhaps a penalty in the box. We go with Grandview dribbling it down the middle of the field, playing it back, and playing it wide. So like they're trying to work it up the wing again. They had great success the first half doing that and crossing it back to the middle, but center throw in. Reese Damiano running back, tireless runner, intercepting the ball, trying to turn the tide for the Yellow Jackets. His position in the midfield. Also be playing by his partner, Kinnan Clarkson. Grandview's going to move the ball out, going to take a left-footed shot. Example of good marking there. Center defender didn't give the Grandview player a lot of room to shoot. Grandview player had to shoot off balance, try to take on that player at the same time. Play it out to the right wing for center. Speeding it up down the line. Trying to get back into play after he loses the ball. They're going to call a penalty here. They've been a little bit too aggressive with his pursuit, trying to catch that ball. Hard to see the number from here. Could have been Tyler Hopkins for the Yellow Jackets. Playing alongside David Argumendo, top of the midfield. Nielsen coming back to receive the ball, dribbles it to himself. He's going to take on the defenders by himself. Gets played out by the Grandview player. Now we have a throw in to Mansour Balde. Heads the ball, dribbles it, passes it to a fellow defender, fellow midfielder. Mansour back to get in the play. Plays it forward. It was a good idea. Just barely out of Emilson Vasquez's reach. That would have been right in the middle. Been free for a good shot. So Grandview working the wing. Number 11 passes it up to two center defenders who promptly knock it out. Looks like we're going to have a substitution. Put some fresh legs on the field. It's going to be a throw in for the Grandview Bulldogs. Number 15, Johan Aguiar with the throw. Center sets its defense up. Plays it into number 12. This kicks the ball. That was Jesus Barrios. Sorry. Have a deep throw in. Looks like Hassan Kamara wanted to let that ball roll out of bounds. He shielded it from the player. Sure enough, a Grandview player had played it last. Nielsen now dropping back a little bit more into the midfield, see if he can't get more involved in the build-up play. The nice thing about center is they have some capable forwards. So if Emilson comes back and plays in the midfield, collects the ball, he knows he's got David Argumendo that he can always play the ball forward to, or Sam Adkins. Center has a lot of threats. Just need to put together a couple good combinations to get back in this game. Got plenty of time, 26 minutes. Mansour Balde back from his midfield position to play some tough defense. Steals the ball. You have David bringing it back through the center midfield, only to be lost to Grandview. Player's going to try to maintain possession and pass it out to the wing. Grandview did a good job of circulating the ball, playing their positions the first half. Seems like centers made it a little bit more difficult for Grandview to do that the second half. So Grandview's not having the easy go of it they might have had in the first 20, 30 minutes. There's the urgency to center's play. Probably had a good conversation at halftime. Deep throw. Hassan Kamara. He did find eventually his forward, Nielsen Vasquez. Number 5 dribbling down the wing, tries to play into the middle. It would be Kevin Martinez. Kicked by Lasan. Kamara. It's kind of a short kick. We're playing the ball back the other direction. Reese Damiano and David chasing the ball. Looks like we've got Kenan Clarkson getting engaged. We're all on one side of the field here. Center fighting for possession. Not giving up any easy space. To make the Bulldogs fight for it. Reese Damiano throwing the ball up the line. David, athletic jump to gain possession. But we're going to see the ball kick the other direction, out of the way. Probably a foul called by the referee and a free kick for the Grandview Bulldogs. Lead tonight's match 3-1. There's a big kick of 50 yards, but it's going to roll out of bounds right in front of the corner flag. Lasan Kamara. That's about a 40-yard throw. And we're working it up the wing. So much good at this. But Grandview has a quick reacting defense, able to snuff that attack out. Nielsen Vasquez running up the line, hoping to get that magical left foot in contact with the ball near the goal. Looks like we have a corner kick here. Dangerous set piece for the Yellow Jackets. All the center players arrayed at the top of the box, trying to put a head or a foot on it, anything they can do. It's going to be David looking at that corner flag, trying to adjust it. Referee going to have a quick discussion. Helpful. Move that plastic base a little bit further back to give David the room. And here's the kick to the middle of the field. Oh, it's headed. Good opportunity, but over the bar. Great chance. He was probably 3-4 yards out of the box. If he'd managed to get that ball down, it surely would have bounced up on the turf. Made for an easy goal. Hard for a keeper to deal with that. Going to play it down the line. Center steals the ball. Working it up the wing. Center it to the middle. Headed out by the defender, but back into the possession of center. Pretty close to the top of the box. The 18 chasing the ball. Center, Sam Atkins. Grandview throw in. Looks like we're holding for a substitution here. Center replaces a player. Running out onto the field, number 7, Oscar Sanchez. Center forward. Oscar is a freshman. Good experience. Some fresh legs on the field. See if a different player, slightly different look, might be able to break Grandview down. Center back into this game. Well, Grandview moving it back at the top of the box now. Played out by the center defender. Thrown into the box. Crossed up. Brandon Keynes jumps out, collides with 2 players, puts a fist on the ball, does just enough to disrupt the Grandview Bulldogs. Into making a shot that never really troubled Brandon. Good aggressiveness. Center goal kicks it out. Play it up to Sam Atkins, number 18, who plays it to the middle of the field. Looks like David is going to play the free kick to number 7, Oscar Sanchez. We have Grandview coming the other way, playing it out to the wing. And to the forward, number 9. Lets the center defender get a leg on it. Number 9 for the Bulldogs, Stanley Ramirez. San Kamara takes the free kick. Great 40-yard pass to Emilson Vasquez. Falls number 8, Keenan Clarkson, who tries to play it forward to Emilson again. Keenan charging back into the play. Passes up 3 or 4 Grandview players on his way back to a defensive position. James Raper, the center left defender, booting that out of danger. Now the center midfield's trying to do its work. Again, David has kind of dropped back into the center midfield. So center has a clear schedule next week as far as the district and conference games. We play it forward. David's not going to quite be able to get onto that. The keeper almost spilled it. David just tracking it down to make sure. Any misplay, and he surely would have kicked it with his foot, the golden boot. Got some action in the middle of the field. Couple center defenders down. In the meantime, Grandview plays it out to the wing. Back to the center. Good idea for a shot, number 11, but blocked smartly by center defender Lasan Kamara, number 23. So center is playing in a tournament next week. It's the KC Cup tournament in Independence. They're playing on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Coach Matson's looking forward to using it to develop a couple players, a little bit more chemistry, and hopefully some confidence. Dangerous corner kick, almost headed towards the goal by the Grandview Bulldogs, but handled by the center defense. We have a throw in, trying to work it up the line to number 7. Back to Lasan Kamara, plays it with the outside of his right boot up to Sanchez. And now we're back going the other way. Center number 1, Tyler Hopkins, handling the ball. Take a long shot, number 11. He had success in the first half with that. A little bit off balance. Brandon Keynes didn't have to do much on that play. Center working the ball up through the middle. There might have been a foul on the play. But in coaching, in talking with Steve Matson over the weekend, it was really helpful for the KC Cup tournament. He's mentioning that tournaments like this can be useful for evaluating personnel. Brandon Keynes with a strong slide. Good hands. Throws it out to his defender. Plays it back into the middle. Lasan Kamara takes possession. Dribbles it competently up the field. Plays it to his right wing. And center coming this direction. Loses it out of bounds, but maintains possession. Center with the throw-in. Reese Damiano trying to turn it the other direction. He's asking for a penalty. The Grandview goal scorer, number 11. But he's not going to get the call. In fact, looks like it's going to go the other way. Yeah. Steve Parker back in the booth.
Sorry, Andy, I had to run out, much like Coach Matson. I had to run out to the field and give our camera people a nice, great pep talk for halftime. They're doing a great job, but just want to kind of always be teaching, always be learning, trying to improve and get better.
And in the meantime, Grandview took a 40-yard shot. Really no worries for Brandon Keynes. Well, the camera crew is doing a good job today.
As the sun has fallen, the night couldn't get much better than this right now. Just stepping outside for a minute there. It is a beautiful night. We have some fans in the crowd.
Well, nothing like playing under the lights. or watching a game under the lights. Looks like the Grandview player is going to take on 3 or 4 center defenders. Oh, he manages to pass the ball. He's got help. And now Grandview slowly starts moving up the field with more teammates. Looks like they're all kind of bunched up in the middle. Center seemed to have them surrounded and handled. Going to take a free kick here. Hassan Kamara. Probing that Grandview defense. See if there's any weaknesses. Reese Damiano never sleeping. The other players had paused and he charged forward. Got possession, won possession, and tried to force it the other way. It looks like he was generally successful. So here we go. Grandview kind of on its back foot, playing it out. Center has a fairly large contingent of midfielders and forwards within 20 yards at the top of the box. And it looks like DeVee dribbled it through a couple defenders. Keeper smartly came out and took it off his feet.
That was a good defensive play by the goalkeeper there.
And we don't have his number. So he is a bit of a mystery.
An enigma wrapped in a mystery.
Well, hopefully center can figure out how to score a goal on the Sphinx. Ancient Egyptian mystery provider. And Emilson trying to dribble it through a couple players, but the referee deems that he ran into the defender and not the other way around. Well, it looks like the referee's going to call time for a minute and have a conversation with Emilson. So, you know, Emilson's freshman year, he scores 35 goals. He's injured last season. At the end of the season, his presence was probably missed. They, as center, had an off day in districts. They were ranked #1 at the time. They probably could have made it to state. So Emilson has returned. He scored 3 goals last game, and I'm sure he's a bit frustrated.
It looked like he walked off the field to the bench there.
Yeah.
With that,
the referee warned him, and maybe Coach Matson or the referee gave him a little chance to cool off. Let him collect himself and come back in the game as opposed to receiving a yellow or red card. Yeah, red cards are very dangerous. You know, if a player gets a red card, you're off the field and you don't get to play in the next game. Certainly not something that either the coach or Emilson would want.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes it's best just to take a bench and cool down for a second.
Well, he's a real competitor, and you need that kind of leadership on the field and off the field. You were asking me before halftime about the speech, the halftime speech that Matson would give, or a coach in general would give when you're down 3-1. And a player like Emilson Vasquez, seen by a leader by the entire team, very important contribution in a halftime speech. Encourages the players around him. He's somebody that they listen to. Just keep things positive. Keep them going the other way. At this point, center 3-1 is not unsurmountable. We talked about this last game.
Right. Absolutely.
A team being up by 2 goals, it's a dangerous proposition. Because if a team's down by 2 goals and they score 1, it usually leads to another goal. You get that momentum going for you. Sometimes a team that's up by a couple goals gets a little bit lax, doesn't play the game the way they were playing before they scored the 2 goals. saw Lasan Kamara getting a little bit upset there. He was trying to dribble the ball out of the back. He felt like he was being held by a Grandview player. That's another.
They're staying physical out there, that's for sure.
That's another dimension that could develop here in the game. And it looks like David plays the ball forward. But just out of the reach of his forward. Yeah, you might see things getting a little bit more chippy. A little bit more physical. The longer this game goes on. Center still has 8 minutes left. Grandview keeper's going to take a little bit of time off the clock. Play it over to his defender. Little maybe gamesmanship here. Some might call it time wasting.
Yeah, running that clock.
The clock is still running. Number 24, and we don't have his name attached to the number. He's looking around as I think he's going to play it wide to a defender. Who loses it out of bounds.
Gamesmanship there, I would say. Gamesmanship by the Grandview Bulldogs. It's within the rules, so.
Referee can penalize a player for going too far with it. Grandview coming back the other way. Center defender smartly snuffs out that attack, plays it up to the midfield.
Nice takeaway by Troy Taylor there.
Ball rolls out of bounds. Looks like the Grandview coach picks it up and throws it back in to one of the players. Head coach Andrew Fletcher, the Grandview Bulldogs. Promptly dribble the ball up the wing, and it looks like the outside midfielder is going to have a go. Shoots it wide. Brandon Keen's had it covered. No real worries on that one. He's going to take this free kick himself. Important that center keep its head up. They're still in this game. He's going to pass it around. Skillful dribbling. Host pair of center defenders fighting for the ball. It's kind of a shoulder check there. Number 2. Yeah, center has made it hard for Grandview to possess the ball like they did the first half.
It looks like that kick out of bounds. A little bit of gamesmanship once again. Maybe a little bit extra time. Runs off the clock. Well, just chasing the ball down or giving him a new ball.
We go with the center defender. Managing to almost get it to the midfield. Kept in bounds by number 13, athletic James Raper. Nice cut back. He had the player beat, but he kind of paused. Maybe thought his midfielder was going to run onto it.
I was going to say, it looked like he was expecting Reese to kind of jump in and take that ball, and paused for a second.
Yeah. Nice play there between the defender and the center goalkeeper, too. Trying to, as he ran back towards the goalkeeper, trying to let the keeper know that the keeper should pick it up. Trying to shield the defender off the ball. You know, it's 3-1, but it's an early on in the season. A lot of good lessons to be learned. We always knew going into playing a Grandview center game this was going to be a tough game.
Yeah, the opportunities are there. Even down by 2 goals, you can still learn a lot. And use it as a teaching moment moving forward for the rest of the season. Almost have it being a rallying cry for your team to kind of wake them up and realize the season isn't over.
Yeah, a little bit like we talked about earlier in the telecast. A team like Grandview is the kind of team that you're going to have to face in districts. And you need to be able to play with them. And this is a good measuring stick, trying to figure out what you need to do to beat them. Center sure has done well the second half. And I know they'll be a little bit disappointed that they haven't created more chances. We're dribbling through here. Looks like Emilson Vasquez is back on the field, dribbling through a couple players. Almost made it through to the back line. Mansour Balde taking the ball, playing it up. Center maintaining possession. Number 11 dribbling through. Out to David. Dribbles it out wide. Nope, that's number 18. That's Sam Atkins. Down on the edge of the box, trying to beat a defender. Keeps hustling after the ball. Ooh, that looks like he may have committed a foul. The Grandview defender. It looks like the referee has shown him a yellow card. So he's going to come off the field.
Like you were mentioning,
yellow card.
Like you mentioned before, that's also to protect the player from possibly getting the red card and then not being able to play the next game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Quick reminder while we have a break in the action that October 9th, the Center Foundation is hosting the annual 5K run. All proceeds go to support various projects, teacher-led projects, teacher-created projects here at Center High School and throughout the district. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. So help support the Center Foundation at the annual 5K run October 9th.
Need to start getting ready for that one.
1 minute left in the
Well, if we have weather like this, I don't mind going out and getting a little exercise.
Well, they allow people to walk.
That's right.
You're a big walker. You know, there was a development on the field while we were talking. Lasan Kamara was moving up into the midfield trying to help his players, encouraging them to move forward. A defender moving up to try to make something happen.
At this point, we have a little bit of a discrepancy between our scoreboard and the official time. So we're just going to watch our boys play on.
Going to pretend like the referee has added some injury time.
There we go.
Oh, we have a good ball steal here. Emilson Vasquez. See if he can get it on his right foot. He can't, but the ball's played back to him. Here he goes. There's his left foot. Oh, that would have been so excellent.
A valiant, valiant effort right there.
Took on 2 or 3 defenders. Received a pass. He did manage to get that extra inch or two to take that shot. Great shot. Would have been great for his confidence and good for the team. But all in all, not a bad second half for Center.
Yes, absolutely. And a gorgeous night for soccer. Unfortunately for the Center Yellow Jackets, it didn't quite end up how we had hoped. But all in all, a great experience. You see a little bit of the crowd filtering out right now. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Hanch here, Andy Hanch, hopefully our voice of the Yellow Jacket soccer program, doing an excellent job. Also my outstanding new crew, led by Executive Director Denny Mosby. They're all working really hard, putting in a lot of hours. Stay tuned. We're going to be back tomorrow night with our first volleyball broadcast at 5 o'clock here on Hive TV. And the big game, Oak Grove. Our Yellow Jackets take on Oak Grove here at home. That game will be simulcast on ESPN3, and we're super excited about that. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for viewing. Stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe.